All right, guys. So in this video, we're talking to Susan Cashier, and Susan's going to talk about her practitioner course, and we're going to discuss a little bit about who the course is suited for, and yeah, I'll maybe sort of chip in and talk about some of the things that's going off with our business. So I'll give it over to Susan straight away, and yeah, how's it going?
Great. I'm great. It's so great to be here and see you again, and so excited to learn about your new endeavors and just the direction that you guys are going in. Really exciting. I'm also really excited about the course HTMA Success, getting really good feedback about it, and just wanted to chat with you in terms of people that are well suited to take the course, or just to put the invitation out there if anybody has any questions or they'd like to chat to me about some different things. I'm always here to chat. You can always go to my website and reach out to me. But basically, there are different people that have taken the course, and I find that it really depends on where you're coming from. So a number of people are already practitioners, and I have had massage therapists or people who practice Reiki or naturopaths who've taken the course because they want to add hair analysis and the program into their practice. And it's really wonderful because, as you know, the program really helps people in a very deep way in terms of healing. And what I say to people is, even if there are other things that are sometimes added in, right? So someone might be practicing as a naturopath or practicing as a chiropractor or massage therapist, and they're already in a profession where they're helping people heal and supporting people. This is a lovely thing to add on, and very easy to do. And it addresses healing more at the cellular level and starts to shift and change things. And so I always like to say that I look at mineral nutritional balancing as like the framework of a house. So even if you are going to decide to add in some other fancy features in your place, it's really the foundation that needs to be really super solid before anything else is added in. So that's sort of what I tell people in terms of, look, I have this, I'm a massage therapist. I don't want to give up my massage practice. What do you think? It's like, oh man, this is an excellent thing to add in there. Also had people take the course who are not practicing in a health field, but want to be. And this is a wonderful opportunity. I'm finding that with everything that's been going on these last 3 years or so, and what's still going on in terms of things in the world and all of that stuff, it's an excellent time to get into working with people in a health capacity, because more and more people are realizing, you know what, I need to look after myself. And so no one else is going to be responsible for my health except for me.
So do you have like a time period of sort of how long you'd want people on the program if they've not come from like a health background or anything like that?
I really like people to at least have been on the program for about 6 months, themselves. And I have made the exception for some people where they've actually been, really into natural health for a really long time. They haven't necessarily done the program, but they're super keen. I've had some people start both at the same time, which means, they start reading the material and they start on their own program at the same time. And that's actually worked out really well, because this kind of work is definitely more, as a practitioner, you're more effective when you have done the program yourself and you're familiar with it, regardless of where you're coming from. And so I've had people do that, and they start on the course, but they take the course a little bit more slowly while they're working on their own program at the same time. But ideally, if they don't want to do that, if a person's like, well, I want to try this out myself first, absolutely, I would say about 6 months, 6 to 12 months on the program, and that gives them a really good start on it to know what it's all about and what it feels like for themselves, and then they're just able to support their clients a bit better as well.
Yeah, brilliant. And what sort of feedback have you been getting so far? As I know that there's quite a few people who have tried other courses and have done yours. So what sort of feedback like, and maybe feedback in comparison to sort of other things that are out there on the market at the moment?
I've gotten excellent feedback from people, and you can read some of the testimonials on my website. And just that, even if they've taken another course previously, it's really a course that they found that they got a lot out of. My first degree is actually in education, so this is really something that I love doing in terms of the teaching and the coaching part of what I do for work. And in terms of other courses out there, what I've tried to do is I've tried to really make it so that you have materials, quick views, and reference guides where when you're learning this, you go through the big bulk of the material, but then you're also left with those reference guides that you go, okay, so I've got this hair chart in front of me. Now what? Where do I start? That you can actually look at the visual views and the quick guides. And it's a really nice, easy way to be able to look at a hair test chart and interpret it as well. And your app, for a lot of my course graduates, they are using the app as well, which is wonderful for interpretation. And I always tell them, I recommend using the app, but you need to also be able to look at that chart and be able to identify the stress patterns as well on your own. And so that's a really important piece of the course in terms of going through some case studies, looking at the test, blank hair test chart, being able to identify things. So whether a person has taken another course or not, I've gotten really good feedback, but it's especially nice when people have taken another course and then done mine, to hear that, wow, I'm so glad I've taken your course. I got a lot out of it. And the other thing that might be a little bit different from some other courses out there is I build in a year of support where I'm reviewing the hair test charts, person's hair test charts after they finish the course. Because as you know, I mean, there's the science part of this where you can say, okay, well, if the NAK ratio is low, this is what's needed. If the NAK ratio is at ideal or above, this is what's needed, etc. But there's a bit of an art to it, which really develops over time, right? Where you need to take a whole bunch of things into consideration. It's not just black or white. Okay, this is the pattern. This is what you give. It's like, well, what do we know about this client? What are their sensitivities? Are they more sensitive generally with supplements? We've got to start them with less. Are there real nervous system sensitivities where the nervous system is overreactive to begin with? So again, we need to take that into consideration. So that's a big part of the learning. I really find that the course, although I've tried to make it as complete as possible, it's also that then you have a chance to apply that knowledge and get support in working with your clients, after that. So all that to say, sorry, that was my long-winded way of saying, yeah, great feedback from people that have taken other courses, as well as for people who've said, this is their first time taking a course on hair analysis.
Yeah, I was just about to say that as well, because a lot of people don't really get that one-on-one support. And I think from what I'm personally seeing is that this particular course stands out from a lot of the rest in that the fact that you do a lot of one-on-one support. And I think that's so important as a practitioner to get that. Because as you say, so sort of, I've developed a system to help practitioners, and it isn't black and white. But it gets more and more intelligent. I mean, I got a new supplement system coming out soon, which actually analyzes, the GIS forms and stuff like that. I always say to people, our system will never replace a practitioner. It's just there as a support mechanism. So yeah, that's what's something that I was going to bring up, is the sort of the one-on-one support that I think a lot of other courses out there don't particularly do. So that's brilliant. So yeah, maybe sort of touch on what sort of in the modules a little bit, and how sort of people might go through them. I know we've set up an online system at the moment.
Yeah.
And then maybe tell people how they can begin, how they can get in touch and whatnot. And yeah, we'll keep it short and to the point.
Okay, that sounds great. So the course is divided into different sections, and it does go through Dr. Paul Eck's Energy book, The Interview with Dr. Paul Eck. I think that is such a brilliant book. I actually encourage practitioners when they're working with their clients to actually give a copy of that book, which is available online, to their clients, because it does such a brilliant job of explaining the heart of what mineral nutritional balancing is all about. And part of this course was really getting back to the roots of mineral nutritional balancing. What is it at the core of it? What is it all about? Then we get into a lot of Dr. Wilson's work, and that is brilliant as well in terms of the different patterns that he's identified over the years and what he's added in terms of the program, right? It's very comprehensive in terms of looking at detoxification a little bit more in detail, lifestyle, what you're eating and how you're eating and all of that. And so part of the brilliance of this program is that it's bringing all of those together and making it very comprehensive. And then people get into some case studies and looking at a sample client where there's sample information sheets, a sample hair test chart, being able to, from doing the coursework, being able to identify those stress patterns and come up with comments and what they'd share with the client. And then the exam is actually a role play where I'm the client and the student in the HTMA Success course is the practitioner, and we role play. And, how would you explain these results to a client? And then I'm able to give good feedback, because I think that that's part of what's lacking in some of the other courses. It's one thing to be able to just do the coursework and answer the questions, whether it's multiple choice or short answer or even essay questions. It's another thing to be able to actually look at the test results and information sheets and pull that together, right, in terms of what you'd say to a client. And then also make sure that you get your delivery in kind of the right order, so it's not so overwhelming for the client. Because as you know, it's a lot, right? When you're going through initial test results with somebody, it's a lot. There's a lot of information to go through. And so that piece is really important, just in terms of the flow of that, how that's organized, how that's delivered to the client, so that they don't end up having this deer in the headlights look, right? Where this is too overwhelming, where it's breaking it down for them. So, so that's sort of the course structure. And then what I love about the app and what you offer too is I feel like we're really building this system and this support system for people that are practitioners, wanting to be practitioners, new or experienced at something else, if they're moving over to work in this field, that there's just a lot of support through me, through the course, through you and your app, and the information that they can get from there, even in terms of the scheduling and website development through you. It just makes the transition into making this, taking this course and then putting it into practice and building your own practice so much easier. It's like, wow, I can just step into this and have someone that knows about hair analysis in the program build a website for me. I can have this done. I can, and as part of my course, what I also did, just knowing myself how challenging it is as a new practitioner to get everything going, is people, once they're finished the course, they do get a bunch of materials like the articles that are on my website, a client handbook that they can use with all their clients, and they're able to put their own logos on it. And so, it's essentially, I feel like what we're providing for people that are taking the courses is almost like a turnkey type of thing in a way, right? Where you go, yes, you need to do this, but here, there's all of this setup and startup materials that are easy for you to then take it on from there and get going with this as a practice.
Yeah, 100%. So, I think it's really important to mention the fact that people are sort of accredited. That's correct, right? And they are able to set up an account with ARL.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's
courses, they don't actually offer that service. And it can be a bit of a challenge for people to actually get into ARL or into trace elements, because you generally do need a qualification of some sort. So that's really important to note, that if you do Susan's course, you will get, you know, an account with ARL, which is, you know.
Exactly. Yes, I should have mentioned that. That's really important. And I know that that is also unique from some of the other courses out there, where I've had some practitioners that have actually been working with hair analysis for a long time, and yet have had to sort of go through somebody else to do their tests. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is so brilliant. I can take your course. I'm able to open my own account with ARL and get the support. And yeah, it's just, it's a way of getting that accreditation and certification where it enables you to open your own account. Yeah.
Fantastic. So finally, where do people sign up? Where can people find out more information, etc.?
Okay. So you can contact me through my website, which is susancachay.com, susancachay.com. And one of the tabs above will, on the top, will be Practitioner Training. And so if you click on that, that tells you all about HTMA success and how to contact me through there. And there's also information on your hair analysis app as well about the course, and just what you can offer as part of that as well. So to people.
Yeah, so if people go to www.training.hairanalysis.report, they'll basically see an overview, and they can apply there. What me and Susan are sort of creating is, I've built a sort of an online system for this course where people can actually go through it online and get all the PDFs, etc. There is another option where when people do the course, they will get unlimited usage of our application, which is really helpful. Just as a support, and a few other sort of perks as well with it, with some different options. But as Susan was mentioning, as we sort of build upon this, we will be adding in extra things. I mean, I've got some good ideas of how it can become more of a sort of a practitioner community, which I think is really helpful. A lot of practitioners sort of, you do a course and you sort of left in the dark a little bit, or, you know, left to sort of fend for yourself. So my personal vision is to sort of build a bit of a community around this, and, you know, where practitioners can sort of ask each other questions, and not feel sort of isolated and lonely, because it can be a bit of an overwhelming journey. So it is handy to sort of have people like me or Susan to chat to, you know, as you go through the process. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there. So thank you for watching. We will leave the links in the description. So if you are interested, or if you're thinking about it, or you might not be sure whether it's for you or not, I'm sure Susan will chat to you and give you some good advice. So thanks for watching. I'm sure we're going to do more of this in the future, and I'll speak to you all soon.
Thanks, Lewis.